All right, everybody, welcome back to The Infinite today. Super glad to have you, and I'm really excited about our content today, which is Apple over the next 3 years. Now, two of the things I'm going to be talking today are based on a recent tweet from Love to Dream, who you've heard of before. He has a really good track record, like scary good. Anyways, two of the things I'm going to be talking about are based on his tweet. The rest of it is based on other rumors and speculation that's come in, and it's all about Apple in the next 3 years. In 2023, where is Apple going to be? What kind of products are they going to have out? Anyways, if you like the content, if you like what you see, make sure to like the video because that's really going to support me, and then also subscribe to the channel, and my huge gratitude to you for doing that. All right, so let's look at this tweet, shall we? So first of all, he retweeted his earlier message with this message, look at this message 3 years later, which implies Apple in the next 3 years, right? So let's look at the tweet. Online recovery system, PowerDrop, lower price AirPods, USB-C iPad Pro, Lightning port on lower end iPad, the iPad OS UWB U1 tag, or the Apple tag. All of this, Apple just wants to kill any connector port. This is a trend that's becoming more and more significant, very directional layout. Okay, so here we go. I want to focus on two different things in this tweet, which is online recovery system and PowerDrop. Let's start with online recovery, shall we? This one's probably the most boring of the lot that we're going to talk about today, in my opinion, but basically what it's saying is that you'll be able to recover any of your Apple devices simply online. So basically this is saying online recovery for all Apple devices, which is cool, and also infers more independence for the Apple Watch, which is always an exciting thing because the Apple Watch needs to be more independent from the iPhone and other Apple devices. So that's that. Let's move on. Next up, we have PowerDrop. Now, I want to include in this all kinds of Apple charging. A while ago, we heard about AirPower from Apple. This was a really exciting announcement, the promise of being able to charge 3 devices at once on AirPower. The example that they used was the Apple Watch, AirPods, and your iPhone. And kind of your iPhone was the hub for all of this, so it showed you the different charging percentages on your different devices. This was a really exciting promise from Apple that ended up getting canceled because apparently it couldn't meet Apple's high standards for quality, which totally makes sense. Like we talked about in the last episode, every single Apple product is either perfect or it's not out yet because Apple doesn't release something unless they feel really good about it. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this, but at least that's their kind of guiding North Star in all of this. But recent rumors have indicated that AirPower is returning. Okay, so we're going to get AirPower back, which is great. My guess is that it's either going to come out at WWDC, which is not really my guess. That's 25% of my choice. 75% says it comes out in September alongside the new iPhones and some other new hardware that's going to be coming out this September. Now, along with this, what is PowerDrop? Well, PowerDrop could very easily refer to the idea of charging things on the back of your iPhone. So AirPods, for example, obviously I don't have mine in the case right now, but on the back of your iPhone, I'd be able to set this AirPods case right there and it starts charging. Now, Samsung phones already have this, so that's cool for them. But obviously when Apple does it, it'll be better. If not, it'll be cooler. Recently, Apple also moved the Apple logo down so it's in the center of the phone, which would be honestly handy for charging things. And it's a cool marketing thing. You simply set your AirPods or Apple Watch on the Apple logo on the back of your iPhone and start charging it right away. Great feature, really exciting. That would be PowerDrop, and that's definitely going to be coming to Apple in the next 3 years. Okay, next up we're going to talk about some of the things that I expect to come from Apple in the next 3 years, and these are the things that are really exciting for me. First of all, we have HomePod improvements and something that I call Apple Home. Other companies have already made a big hit in the home, such as Amazon, where you have the Amazon Echo in basically every single room, and they have lots of things that work with Alexa. So you can put in blinds, you can have blinds working with Alexa, lots of lights work with Alexa, things like that. So far, not many things work with Apple's HomeKit. I think that they could if Apple starts selling them at their store and if they endorse a brand. But before all of that, let's talk about HomePod. Currently, we only have HomePod. It's one smart speaker that started at $350. Now they've brought it down to $300, and you can often get it at Best Buy on sale for $200. It's still expensive for a speaker. If they brought the price of the HomePod down to $70 and created a HomePod mini, kept the HomePod at around $200, and then created a HomePod Pro for maybe $300 to $350, then you have a lineup that is reasonable to put into every room and connect your whole home through these smart speakers. So you'd have HomePod Pros maybe with your TV, you'd maybe have HomePods in some bigger rooms like a living room or a kitchen, and then you have HomePod Minis in every single bedroom. That way your entire home is connected using Siri and using HomePod. Then the next step for Apple would be to endorse a specific brand and start selling those brands' HomeKit enabled accessories at the Apple stores. Things such as lights, blinds, coffee makers, dishwashers, garage door openers, fans, heaters, thermostats, everything HomeKit enabled, and you sell it at the Apple store. And then through your entire home, you can simply say, Siri, start the heater in the living room. Siri, turn on my TV, get my show ready. Siri, good night. And then it sets your whole house to that. That would be awesome. The other thing that the HomePods need in the next 3 years is the ability to be called by a different name other than Siri. Because right now I have a lot of Apple devices in this room, for example. So I have my phone, I have my MacBook that luckily doesn't listen to Siri when it's closed up like this, but sometimes I do have it open. I have my HomePod behind me, and I have my Apple Watch. Sometimes I even have an AirPod or two in my ears, okay? So we've got a lot of Apple things going on at the same time. Now when I say Siri, typically it's really good at knowing which device I'm talking to. It's actually pretty incredible. If I'm up using my watch and I say Siri, even if I'm right in front of my HomePod, it will know that I'm speaking to my watch. So the HomePod might start up and then it'll deactivate and let me do it on my watch. If I'm using my phone and I'm close to my phone, even if I'm in front of my HomePod and I say Siri, it'll know that I'm doing it on my phone. If I have my phone sitting here and I say Siri, it'll typically go straight to my HomePod. Let's test this out, shall we? So I have my phone right here. I'm gonna unlock it just to see. I'm gonna say, hey Siri, what's the time?
It's 3:28 p.m.
Okay, so it did it on my phone. For some reason, I wish that it would have done it on my HomePod. Actually, Apple's technology to do this is really incredible. It uses proximity, it uses context, so if I'm using my Apple Watch, for example, and then all of those devices talk to each other and quickly figure out, hey, which device is he talking to? Which device does he mean to be talking to? Is it the MacBook? Is it the iPhone? Is it the AirPods? Is it the Apple Watch? Is it the HomePod? So far what I've figured out is a hierarchy of things, is AirPods overrule HomePod, HomePod overrules everything else unless it's an active device. If I'm actively using my Apple Watch, it'll go to my Apple Watch. Actively using my phone, computer. The problem is when I have multiple active devices. So let's say I have my computer on working, my phone is on next to me, I have my HomePod right next to me, and I'm wearing my Apple Watch, and let's say it's happened to be lit up. Those are 4 things that are technically active devices that I'm using right then. And so often, somehow, it actually gets it right, but it would bring me more peace of mind and provide more deliberance in my using of Siri if I could call the HomePod by HomePod. If I wanted to talk to the HomePod, which sometimes I deliberately want to talk to the HomePod, even if I have my AirPods in, even if I'm using my phone, even if I'm on my watch, I mean to talk to the HomePod. So if I could say, hey HomePod, pause the music, hey HomePod, turn the lights off, even if I'm doing something on my watch, and then my watch says, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that from this device because for some reason Siri on Apple Watch doesn't work with HomeKit, even though they have a Home app on the Apple Watch. Super weird. Anyways, Siri needs to be called by different names on different devices. And then basically where I'm going with all of this is with HomePods in every room and with HomeKit enabled accessories all throughout your house, Apple has monopoly on your house. And they're definitely gonna want this, and this is going to be happening in the next 3 years. We're gonna see more HomeKit enabled devices sold at the Apple stores, and better Siri integration, perhaps Siri OS, which I'd like to talk about in a different video. If you want to see that, make sure to leave a comment down below. And HomePods at different configurations to be able to be in every single room. All right, next up, let's talk about a really exciting one, which is self-driving. Rumors that Apple has been working on Project Titan, which is Apple's own self-driving car, have been around for years. And Apple has acquired a lot of self-driving intelligence companies in the last 4 or 5 years. They've also picked off a lot of employees from Tesla. Okay, so signs are saying that Apple is working on their own self-driving car. First, I was like, what? Apple in the car business? As I think more and more about it, it could be pretty incredible. Imagine your car working as seamlessly as AirPods do with your iPhone. Imagine your car working that seamlessly with all of the other Apple gadgets in your life. You could control it from your Mac. You could say, hey car, get ready to go, using Siri. Prepare my car to go to the grocery store. In the future, self-driving is going to be all the rage. You're going to be able to send your car to the grocery store, have the grocery people put groceries into your car, and then it comes back to your house. You don't have to do one thing. Your car can go pick up your son or daughter from school, bring them back home safely and securely. Also, self-driving cars are way safer than humans behind cars. Although, of course, there are incidents that have happened already. As the technology improves, this will become even more safe. So, Apple's definitely going to want in on this. They're going to want a piece of all that action, and they're going to do it better than their competitors, hopefully. Why has Apple been working on this project for 4 or 5 years and we still haven't seen anything materialize? Well, honestly, self-driving cars aren't that big of a deal yet. Even Teslas, they say they have autopilot, but it's a very limited feature at this point. Once this becomes a more widely accepted feature, then Apple will want in on it. Typically, Apple gets the customers that are ready to embrace the new technology. They don't typically push into new technology that is widely unaccepted or still unsure. Plus, if things did go wrong with their new cars, Apple would receive a lot of the blame up front, a lot of the scorn, which they don't really want to do. They want to be into it once it's already somewhat of an established field and an accepted field. Then Apple would get into it, totally revolutionize the game and do it better than anybody else. But Apple, Project Titan, yeah, I'm gonna start saving up for that car right now. Okay, last of all, let's talk about augmented reality, which is another really exciting field that Apple's working on and has been for a long time. Tim Cook in particular talks a lot about augmented reality. One of the main devices that we're gonna see augmented reality on in the next 3 years for Apple are the Apple glasses or Apple Lens or something. I don't know what they're gonna be called yet, but Apple Glass maybe, kind of like that. The Apple glasses are going to be incredible. They're gonna provide everything that your Apple Watch gives you, but right on your face. So when you get a new message, boom, it comes up as if it were in the space in front of you. Apple glasses are gonna look just like any other glasses. They're gonna look great. If you wanna learn more about this, check out my video on Apple glasses. I'll leave that link down in the description. Apple glasses are going to be the thing of the future because they're gonna look just like any other glasses. They're gonna have multiple styles, but you put them on and suddenly you're connected in a way that you've never been so connected before. You can kind of be in two different worlds at once where you're getting your messages, you're getting your emails, even as you're having a conversation with somebody. Now, I know that this idea is a little bit scary because we say, hey, people are getting even more and more disconnected from each other as they're checking their emails at the same time they're having a conversation with me. I don't like that idea. My saying is technology is going to advance. It's going to be okay. We're going to figure out how to make it work, and there will be etiquette that comes along, of course, with having the Apple glasses and all kinds of augmented reality glasses in the future. But let's say you're having a conversation with somebody, you know that you need to get going. What's better, quickly checking the time as if it were right there in front of you in space and looking back to the person, or pulling up your watch like this, checking the time? Obviously, it's seeing the time right in front of the person. You can quickly check it. They won't even know that you looked at the time, which is honestly more courteous to them, but also you can keep tabs on things even as you're going throughout your day. Also driving. Imagine driving, for example, navigation directions right out in front of you. You don't have to be looking at your phone. They're literally going to be laid out on the road right in front of you as you're driving. Until, of course, self-driving comes, and then things just get better and better and better. You're at the grocery store. There you have your groceries list literally sitting there in the aisle, and so you can just check it as you go. Pretty incredible stuff. Apple has been working on augmented reality for a long time. They've been bringing it into the iPhones. The problem is using this as augmented reality is a lot less impressive than just having your glasses on and seeing it as if it's in the world right in front of you. So really exciting things coming from Apple with augmented reality. So those are some of the things that I expect Apple will be doing in the next 3 years. Some of the new industries they'll be breaking into, some of the industries that they'll want to capitalize on, such as the Apple Home. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a subscribe, give a like on this video, and share it with your friends. We're just starting up this channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so all of the contribution really means a lot to me. And let me know down below what you think about this content. Do you agree with what I've said? Do you not agree? Do you want to see other things from Apple in the next 3 years? Do you wish Apple would focus on a different area more specifically? Let me know down in the comments and let's have a discussion. I'm going to reply to every single comment that's posted. So let me know. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Peace.